Hello guys, so today I'm going to solve the quiz 1 problems. Okay, so I will start with chapter 2. So chapter 2 means the free vibration problem. Okay, so uh, there was one question where there was one system which is like this. So roller, and then there is a spring like this one, and then this is theta, m, j naught here, and r here, right? So, and this is a rolling without slipping basically, yeah. And here I also, the question that I gave differed a bit from the textbook problem, and there I said this is cylindrical, okay, with the radius r. So when I say cylindrical, that really means j naught becomes automatically equal to 1 by 2 m r square. That's the relation. So this relation you have to add additionally, okay. So this, okay, so this question may be very easy for some. If you do this a lot of time, you may also remember the actual equation for finding out the natural frequency. The idea here is to find out natural frequency is omega n equal to 1. But it looks like it's not that easy actually. So for 40%, only 60% student could get it right. Even when we had this in both in quiz 1 and the mid semester exam as well. So especially when you have in mid semester exam, which is repeated from quiz 1, I expected 100%. If not 100%, maybe 90%, but not like only 60%. So those kind of things. Yeah. So the idea again here is to actually whatever question you come to know, like first to do the problems from the book will be one thing. This question may also be in the tutorial probably, okay. But in any case, so this one is from how to solve it. Here the solving comes from the energy methods, and how so total energy becomes equal to, how do you say, half mv square, so m and v square plus half j naught, yeah, and then theta dot square, okay, plus half k x square equal to a constant. That's what we do, right? So, and from there we will find out the equation. We call it the total energy d over dt equal to 0. Yeah. So now first we can also express in terms of x. So here the value is x, which can move like this one. So what is the relation? If you see this one here, if it moves by x, the theta will be, we have to find out by which this is moving. Yeah. So here v is nothing but v is equal to x dot, and theta is like r times theta equal to x. This is how the relation is, right? So theta equal to x over r. Why? When this rolls, let us say this rolls by one complete cycle. So that means the x by which it will roll will be 2 pi times r. So hence this is the relation. So we put this value there, and what we find E equal to half m x dot square plus half j naught theta dot, so it becomes x dot over r square plus half kx square equal to a constant, let's say called c, and so that means d over dt becomes half m2x dot x double dot plus half j naught 2 x dot r, okay, times x double dot plus half k x times 2x dot equal to 0. Yeah, and finally what do we get? We get everywhere half times 2, so that's x dot appears everywhere. So what we get? So m x double dot plus j naught x double dot over r, yeah, and plus k x equal to 0. So this is the equation we get. So there is a problem here. So I think here this should be 1 over r squared, right? So yes, it should be 1 over r. So this should be, so why? Because j is m r square, like this one. So from there you can say that this should be of the unit of mass. So m x double dot plus j naught over r square, j naught over r square is half m. See, this is half m. Okay, so x dot double dot plus kx equal to 0, or hence you can write 3m over 2x double dot plus kx equal to 0, and hence from here we get omega n equal to root k over 3m times 2. So this should be the answer, right? So omega n equal to root 2k over 3m. Another question where I'm asking the natural frequency is this one. So this is something like this. So here it is k2, and here like this, and there is a mass here m, and then so this is like this. Yeah, so this is a link from here to here. So this is a link like this. Okay, so there is a spring here k2, this is k1, x is this direction, this is m, this is b, this is a. Yeah. Okay, so this can be solved in both the energy method, the Newton's method as well. So let us say it has moved by x, then what happens? So the force that it will feel is k1 times x. Right? So k1 times x like this. Here, if it stretches like this one, it stretches like x there, here it is x. So here this will be the by geometry. By geometry it will have the same angle, right? So that means here this will be the x, the b a over b times x will be the going like this one, because they will be proportional. So if b we have to like a over b multiplied by x, so proportional to a basically, right? So x share of x is proportional to the whatever the lever is. The lever in this case is a, so a divided by b x. So this is how it will be. Yeah. Simply the angle here both will be same. You can equate, you can get this value. Okay. So if that is the case, the force here, if you see for this bar, our force is like this one. So if it goes like this one, and then hence the force here will be k1x, and here force will be k2 times a over bx. Right? So this is a force like this one. Yeah. Okay. So that means what? If that is the case, so if it goes like this one, so what do we get? The force here will be how much? Okay, so the force in this case has to be just a minute. This one. Here it is not k1x, not like that, because there is a mass here. The k1x is will be here. So mass m, m here, the force here will be k1x because it has moved like this one. Here we, if this is the force here, then what will be the force here? The total torque, so will be the same, meaning that this multiplied by this has to be this equal multiplied by this one. So the value will be k2abx multiplied by this multiplied by this, which is a, and divided by this is b. So this will be the force this way, because the moment, if you take the moment about this one, it has to match whatever moment we get because of this one, same moment we get because of this one. So both moment will be same. So hence the value here, the value of the force has to be in this case like this one. Yeah. Okay. So this is what the force will be. So if this is the force here, the force here becomes k2a square over b square times x. So this is the total force we get. So equation becomes mx double dot and okay. So in this case, this will be pulling like this one, and here the value, it goes like this one, and this is actually, this pulls this way. If this pulls this way, here will be, here it will be opposite, right? So what it means is like this one. So if something is being pulled here by k2 times a over bx, okay, so that the total force, the moment becomes moment is 0. In that case, here actually the force in this case has to be in this direction, right? So if you put it like this one, and I have to balance this one by pulling like this here, like this one. So actually the direction here is like this. Okay, so direction actually will be something like this one. If the direction is like this one, the here direction of this will be this, meaning that both a spring going to resist the value of this one. So one will resist by this amount, k1 times x1, and this spring is being stretched, this also being stretched, so this will try to pull it like this one, and when this tries to pull it like this one, this will exert force on this that way. So total force that will be k1 plus k2 a square over b square x plus mx double dot equal to 0. And hence the equation of the omega n becomes root k, so k1 plus k2 a square over b square divided by m. So this will be omega. So this question was given as a tutorial problem as well, you know. So I hope that everybody actually did some practice or solved it. Okay. Now I asked various questions where for the spring mass system, so this is k, this is m, and I asked what I gave x at t equal to 0 equal to x naught, and x dot at t equal to 0 gave v naught. Okay, and then I said what will be the maximum displacement, maximum velocity, maximum acceleration equal to what. So we ask like this, yeah, for different values. In general, if you want to find out the full expression, so we since this is a free vibration and this is undamped vibration, solution will be x equal to a sine omega nt plus b cos omega nt. And what we get here is since x naught is given, so x0 equal to, we get b equal to x naught, so we get b equal to x naught, then x dot 0 equal to the v naught, and what we get from here, if you do x dot will be equal to nothing but a omega n cos omega n t minus b omega n sine omega n t, like this. Yeah. So if x dot 0 equal to v naught will be equal to, if you put here it will be a omega n, and hence that means a equal to v naught over omega n, like this. Yeah. Okay. Now this two values if you put here, we get x equal to a is v naught over omega n sine omega n t plus b is x naught and cos omega n t. So this is the formula, and you whatever you value you get is given if you put it here and you get the value of x, right? So maximum velocity, we can combine this together. We can say x equal to x big X naught, and then we have sine omega n t plus psi. Let us say where psi is where x will be x naught square plus here v naught over omega n square. So okay, and why? Because this value will be, you can put it as cos psi, and x naught will be as sin psi, right? So this gives you value where tan psi equal to x naught over v naught omega n, like this one, right? But we use this one. So actually the value will be simply x equal to x naught times this, x equal to x naught times sine omega n t plus psi, and everything is given as here. So maximum x we get equal to x naught, where x naught is given by here. Yeah, you put values of omega n. Omega n is equal to root k over m for given, right? So maximum velocity will be x dot omega n times x naught, where x naught is x naught square plus v naught over omega n whole square, and maximum acceleration will be omega n square x naught. How? So you can, this is x, right? So x dot becomes omega n t will come here, x double dot omega n square x naught will come here, where x naught equal to root x naught square plus v naught over omega n square. That's it. So this is general purpose. But the thing is, I also ask questions like x naught equal to 0, v naught equal to 0. Okay, it's too easy. If you put x naught equal to 0, v naught equal to 0, x equal to 0. If x equal to 0, then maximum x equal to 0, maximum v equal to 0, maximum a equal to 0. Trivial answers. Yeah. Then I asked in one case, one of them was 0, x not equal to 0, but v was there. So accordingly, your solution becomes this will 0, this will be the 1. So maximum displacement becomes this, and so on. Basically, the one equation will has everything. You just put the value and you can find out. But actually, you don't have to derive for many of them. When you have insight that when the initial velocity is 0 and the initial displacement is 0 and the displacement looks like this one, that really means in that case x equal to 0. That means there is no oscillation. There is no oscillation. That really means there is no, the velocity will be 0, acceleration will be 0 always. So like that. Yeah. So this solves many of the problems that was given there. Similar questions were asked for the damped system, the free vibration of the damped system. So there was a damper, okay. So there's M, then there was K, and there was C, like that. Okay, so and then the questions were given x0 equal to x naught and x dot 0 equal to v naught. Okay, it was given like that. So the general solution in this case actually for this kind of values, if both are 0, x naught is 0, v naught is 0, so automatically what you get, in this case I'm asking the maximum velocity, maximum acceleration, all those things, but only when trivial cases, when x naught equal to 0 or v naught equal to 0, and then I'm asking what is the maximum velocity, maximum displacement, maximum velocity, maximum acceleration. And in this case also all will be 0, because the initial, if all the initial conditions are these are 0, so hence all others will be automatically will be equal to 0. And you can also get from the displacement that we derived for this case, and displacement was x equal to e to minus zeta omega nt, and then you have x at t equal to 0 plus zeta omega n, x it will be dot here, x0 divided by omega n root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, and then we have sine omega dt plus you have x t equal to 0 and cos omega dt, where omega dt omega d is nothing but omega n root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, and where zeta is equal to c over root 2 km, right? So it's like this, yeah. Okay, so even this equation, if these two things are 0, you put 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, so automatically what you get? You get x equal to 0 simply, yeah. So if this equal to 0, then maximum acceleration equal to 0, maximum velocity equal to 0, maximum displacement equal to 0, automatically equal to 0. Yeah. One question was, I am like I was asking whether omega n can be bigger than omega d. So is omega n bigger than omega d possible? That I asked. Yeah. Looking at this equation, yeah, omega d first of all appears when this is under damped condition only, under damped conditions only. Yeah. Otherwise, omega d has no meaning. Yeah, omega d will appear in under damped condition. From under damped condition, zeta is less than 1 only. If zeta is less than 1, then omega d will always be less than omega n. Yeah? So omega d is always less than omega n, basically, right? So that's why is omega n greater than omega d possible? Answer is no. Yeah. So true false actually. So omega n can be greater than omega d. Answer is no. Omega n will always be less than omega d. Or this one is undamped. Undamped natural frequency will always be greater than. Okay, so sorry guys. So what I meant is the omega n has to be greater than omega d, possibly always like this. What I meant is like this, not omega like this. So what I asked is omega d greater than omega n, like this. Yeah. So I asked whether the damped natural frequency, this omega d is a damped natural frequency. Damped natural frequency. So if the damped natural frequency greater than the undamped natural frequency, this is undamped natural frequency. Okay. So if the omega d can be greater than omega n, possible? Answer is no. And if I say omega d can be more than omega n, or the undamped the damped natural frequency can be bigger than natural frequency, answer is false. So in that case, the answer should be false. Okay. So this was the question. So this also tests you whether you understand that whether zeta can be here greater than 1, less than 1, and like this one. Then there was some question in which I'm writing like zeta is given, so zeta equal to 0, zeta equal to 0.5, maybe zeta equal to 1, zeta equal to 2, so something like that. And then you have to say which one is which. So zeta equal to n is undamped, right? It will be there is no damping. This will be underdamped. Underdamped. This will be critically damped. And this will be overdamped. Since zeta is greater than 1, critically damped zeta equal to 1, underdamped zeta equal less than 1, but not equal to 0. This is zeta equal to 0. Yeah, so this is the condition you have to match. Yeah, so there will be several other values actually. So again, these are too easy. There was a question on logarithmic decrement, where the simple formula 2 pi zeta over root 1 minus zeta square, where zeta equal to c over root 2 km. So for spring mass damper system, you find out zeta, you put directly value, directly you can get. Yeah. So we are done with the free vibration part. So the next was the forced vibration part. So chapter 3, forced vibration. So in which there was very straightforward problems, like there was a spring mass damper system, and then there was mass K, see, like this one. Yeah. And then what we asked, so for this one, if you have here F equal to F naught sine omega t, simply the displacement x t is given by, either you can give in terms of the complex number, or you can write, we have derived already, it will be simply f naught over k divided by root, and then we have 1 minus omega over omega n square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square. Okay, so this is what the x looks like multiplied by sine omega n, so not omega n but omega t minus phi, where tan phi is equal to, you have 2 zeta omega a, the omega, excuse me, so this one. So what it means is this part divided by this part basically. Yeah. So here this will be, this will be omega square over omega n square, and then the whole square 2 zeta omega of omega n. So we have 2 zeta omega over omega n divided by 1 minus omega over omega n square like this. Yeah. So this is a tan phi. So I asked questions on this. What is the magnitude of the oscillation, or the maximum displacement? When I say maximum displacement, really means this one. This is what the maximum displacement in this case is with respect to the mean position. Yeah. So mean position. This is the maximum displacement with respect to this amplitude. Amplitude equal to maximum displacement about the mean position. The mean position, right? Mean position means x equal to 0 position. Yeah. And this is phi, when I ask what is the phase lag, this is a phase lag I asked, right? So this is a phase lag, the tan inverse 2 zeta omega over omega n over 1 minus omega over omega n square. And these values were, when I asked, I gave value of omega, gave value of f naught, for example. Yeah. Others you can find out omega n equal to root k over m, which can find out from the given data, and zeta equal to c over root 2 km. And again this first vibration, and always I gave for the underdamped case. Okay, so all these equations are also, when we have this kind of equations, this also they are valid for the underdamped case only. Okay, so in first vibration we studied the underdamped case only. So hence the C was such that you get zeta equal to C over this, you always got less than 1. Yeah, so hence this value. So very straightforward formula based question. Yeah, you just plug in the value, you get the values. So there was one problem in the quiz 1 exam where problem on the wording of shaft basically. So this one. So what we asked, I said there was omega. Yeah. So I gave the values of the span of this. The L, I gave the value of L, then gave the value of D, right, on this thing, and then what I asked was to find out what is the omega equal to what, yeah, omega equal to what, when there was some conditions. What was the conditions? The conditions were the rotating this omega, the r, the distance. Yeah. So there was E was given, eccentricity was given. Yeah. So say let's 1 centimeter or some value. Yeah, was given, and the value from here to here r was this given same, r equal to 1 centimeter. So actually, from both the data, what you gave is equal to r equal to E. So meaning that the deflection from here to here was equal to the eccentricity of the mass. Okay, so that was the basic the outcome of the data. From the data, r equal to E was given. Okay, and from there you have to find out what was the value of omega. Okay. Now, if you see the lecture videos, then where we derive the value of r, and r is equal to m omega square r, in which, in this synchronous basically, when it is theta dot equal to omega case. So for that, so m omega square r, and then you have a root under, and then you have k minus m omega square plus and then you have c square c omega square, right? So this kind of relation exactly similar to that you get in the first vibration is, and here it is kind of a force, m times omega square r. Omega square r is nothing but for the rotation from the centrifugal acceleration multiplied by mass, it gives you the force divided by this. So this is same as you can also write like m omega square r, force divided by k, as we did earlier, yeah, divided by root, yeah, and then here the terms will be similar to earlier, and the value will be 1 minus omega square over omega n square like this, yeah, plus you get c 2 zeta omega over omega n square like this. or we can write m, k over m is omega, so it becomes r omega over omega n square divided by this, the whole thing. So this becomes 1 minus omega square over omega n square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square, like that. Yeah. Okay. So the E, eccentricity, all here is E. E times like that. So this is R equal to like this. Now when what is given, you also given zeta. Yeah. So zeta is given. Zeta equal to exactly given zeta equal to 0.5. Yeah. So if you put 2 times zeta here, 2 times 0.5, this becomes 1. Yeah. So if R equal to this one and R equal to E only, so what do you get? You get basically simply omega over omega n square is equal to, you get this equal to this. So R equal to E value. If that is the case, you get omega over omega n square, omega over omega n square equal to simply this one. 1 minus omega square omega n square plus, yeah, and then you get this, the 2 times 0.5 is 1 omega over omega n square, like this. Yeah, this. Now you solve one of the solution in this case. You just have to give one of the solution. One of the solution in this case will be when omega equal to omega n. If omega over omega n equal to 1 is one of the solution, right? So you can actually give any solution, but this solution, omega over omega n equal to 1, if you put that, it satisfies both the sides. So if 1 minus 1 becomes 0, plus here becomes 1 over 1 divided square of that 1, here also 1. So that really means one of the solution is omega equal to omega n, one solution, right? Only thing is, what is omega n? There could be other solution as well. You can also find out the other solution. You can also suggest. But omega equal to omega 1 is the simplest one. You can find out one solution, which is the simplest one will be omega equal to omega n. And what is omega n? That is the thing now. What is omega n? And then you have to come to here. Omega n is nothing but the root k over m, where mass of this is given, total mass, here mass is given, for this is known, and k is this simple supported here. So simply supported here, like this one. So k will be 48 ei over lq is the k, right? So simply omega, answer will be omega equal to root and 48 ei over m lq. So this is the answer, where 48 e, material property, has to be there, then I is there. I you can get I equal to, for this one, 1 over 64 pi d4 will be the I in this case. Yeah, so I is this, divided by m lq. So this is what the value will be. Omega will be like this. This will be the answer, final answer. Now there was one question which was asked, the same question was asked in quiz 1 and also the midterm exam, okay, and the question was this. So we have this and then spring like this one, yeah, okay, so the values are given. So this C, then M, this is K is given, and this is x2 equal to given x2 sine omega t, and this is x1, like this one. And what I asked, I asked the force transmitted here. What is the force transmitted here? Okay. So this question, a similar question is there in your book, but there it is. If we are asking the set of the equation of motion and solve the steady state problem. Okay. But here I'm extending that to find out basically what is the force transmitted, just to learn the concept, just to not use just the formula, but rather actually you understand what is the meaning of force transmitted. Okay. Okay. So in this case, basically what you see here is the connection between this and this is only a damper, unlike the other questions where you have a spring and damper both, and then you have the force because of this and this both being transmitted. Here it will be only force because of the damper will be transmitted. Anyway, first you have to write the equation, and writing the equation, you can have here for m will be mx x1 double dot. The force always you start with the Fibonacci diagram, so you have m, and if this way you will have c x1 dot, yeah, and this one you assume x2 is greater than x1, and hence there will be tension, so it will be k x2 minus x1, yeah, and hence mx x1 double dot will be minus c x1 dot x1, and then also have plus k x2 minus x1, and from here you will get mx1 double dot plus cx1 dot plus kx1 plus equal to kx2. So this is the equation. I also explained it in the tutorial or the live session as well. Okay, so I obtained this equation there, and then I told you the force transmitted will be what is the force in this one. Okay, now what is the force transmitted? Force transmitted is this. This is cx dot is ft is nothing but cx dot. What you have to find out, if you solve this one and then you put x dot here, you get a force transmitted. Yeah, or the transmissibility in this case will be ft over total. Okay, in this case there is no force, there is no transmissibility, and this question was not on transmissibility anyway. But this is the transmitted force will be cx dot. Now only thing is cx1 dot. Only thing is cx1 dot equal to what? That's the main thing you have to find out from here. Now x2 is given, right? x2 is given, so this is equal to kx2 sine omega t, and you can equal to now say f naught sine omega t, where f naught equal to kx2, right? K is known and x2 is also known, so f force you are getting from there. So simply your equation is equal to mx1 double dot plus cx1 dot plus kx1 equal to f naught sine omega t. This is your where f naught equal to this. Okay. Now next is the solution. Solution of this you know already. And what is the solution? The solution will be x equal to x naught, and then you have sine omega t minus phi. So this is the force vibration, and this we have derived already. So where x naught is equal to f naught divided by k, we know already, and divided by root, and 1 minus omega over omega square over omega n square plus here you have 2 zeta omega over omega n square. So this is your x naught, yeah, and then you have sine. This is simply x naught, right? And so x equal to x naught, where x naught is this, and then sine omega t. Now zeta, where zeta equal to c over root 2 km, we know that, and omega m equal to, from this equation also you can find out omega n equal to root k over m. So all these values you know. Okay, now the value ft is nothing but cx dot, and cx dot is what? This value. So f naught divided by k multiplied by, we have to multiply c, sorry. So c times x dot is x naught times omega. So x naught times omega equal to 1. X naught is equal to like this one, right? X naught is this. So you get c omega, c times omega times f naught divided by k divided by this whole thing. 1 minus omega square over omega n square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square. Actually, this is the answer. ft will be equal to this. Okay, where omega n is equal to this one, this is equal to this. Okay, so this is just one step forward of finding out the amplitude. Okay, so this question was repeated in the quiz one. One person got it right. Actually, only one person. In the midterm exam, nobody got it right. Yep. Okay. So if let's write this final form. So f naught equal to k times x2. So we write here. So what we get? ft equal to, and c omega f naught over k. F naught over k is nothing but x2. So we get x2. Simply this whole terms becomes x2 divided by, we get root, and then 1 minus omega square over omega n square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square. Simple. So ft will be simply this one. Yeah? C omega x2 divided by this. Simple. So there must be some questions where I asked for a spring mass temper system. So temper system, what was the maximum transmitted force? Right? So maximum transmitted force. So actually ft. Okay, so what was the ft? So okay, so there's some confusion. One email I got whether it is the dynamic load we are talking about, or just the or the total, basically. So whether it's the maximum force due to the dynamic force. Okay, so all the vibration problems what we are solving, it is all for the involves dynamic forces only we are talking about. The static forces we are not talking about. So we are assuming all the question you can assume this is in a space somewhere. There is no gravity. Yeah, but still there, this system will vibrate. You know, so static loading or gravity, effect of gravity, always neglect unless it is necessary, it is given. Then you have to assume. Okay, so this maximum transmitted force, basically in that case what happens? Well, so we know that for all these equations we have displacement is equal to x naught sine. So this is force like this, F equal to F naught sine omega t is like this, right? So the force will be, the displacement is x naught sine omega t minus phi. Okay, so this we know already, where x naught we know already, this is F naught over k root. So you can actually, you do so many times that you will remember automatically, right? So this is 2 zeta omega over omega n square. So if you do practice, you will memorize, automatically it will come to you. Okay, now this x naught equal to F naught over k and like this. Yeah, so this is x equal to given by x naught, where x naught is like this, this one. Now force transmitted is nothing but whatever the value, the ft is equal to root under, because both of them are at right angle, k and c, right? So k plus c omega square. So this is the actually the force transmitted, and multiplied by x Yeah, so here you have the x value as well. So here you will f naught, this in terms of k, this term here you have x naught here. Yeah, so this is like equivalent stiffness from here to here multiplied by x naught. Yeah. If you ask why it is like this, because of this one. So what we have is ft is equal to root kx square and cx dot square, right? Because yeah, if you remember, we had a diagram, kx this way, then cx dot this way, like that, you know. So kx is this way and cx dot is perpendicular to that. So from that, so this will be the ft. All these we have done in the lectures. So like this one, where x is x naught, this one, so automatically this comes out, and hence what we will have is k square plus c omega square, and then you will have the maximum value. We are saying the maximum value, right? So the first transmitted, you can the maximum value. Typically, this is you take it as amplitude. Ft is amplitude, maximum value. Yeah. So there's the maximum value of this. Yeah. So this will be simply since this will be between 1 and -1, and hence the whole thing, the maximum value will be times x naught, like this, right? Okay, so now from here you can go to the ft. So ft becomes this root k square plus c omega square multiplied by x naught. X naught is f naught divided by k, right? Divided by root 1 minus omega square omega n square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square. Okay. So this is the first transmitted, or you can simplify further. You can k cancels out, and what you get here is root 1 plus omega 2 okay. What you get is f naught multiplied by divided by this, so with root 1 plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square divided by root 1 minus omega square over omega n square plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square. This is the answer. Anyway, when you this I actually derived it, but actually this you can, if you do the practice, you automatically remember this. Or simply this is basically same expression as this one. Only thing is omega square over omega n square term is not there. Why term not there? Because in the transmitted force m does not play a role. Only the force here and here will play a role. So hence this term will not be there. And hence what you have is this plus this term. So that's why you have. So this will be the force. And of course this where zeta equal to c over 2 root km will be there, and omega n equal to root k over m will appear everywhere. There was a question in the quiz 1 about there is a wheel and there is a shaft here, and then there is a connection between the two. Yeah, so this is the shaft which is shaded, and this is the wheel. Yeah, so like this one. Okay, so everything is given as such, for the values was given. So maybe the what was given was the diameter, inner diameter, outer diameter, like this one. So from y diameter is given because of the j. So j, mass moment of inertia, is given by, for if it is a solid, for like this one, it is half m, and then this is given as r square, right? Like this one. So for this one, if the, let us say you have the total, the external is like this one, yeah, and then you subtract the lower one from here. So what you get? So you get, let us say, rho is the density. Then what do you get? So from there also you can find out basically. So this is given that this is cylindrical. What is given here is that there is this shaft is moving, okay, and then we have to find out what is the relative amplitude of this one. We have to find out, yeah. So if this is moving by some amount, so if x if this is the harmonic oscillation, so if this is given, let us say theta equal to theta naught sine omega t, if that is given, then it is what we have to find out. We have to find out for this one. Let us say this is phi. This is by theta, it moves phi. So phi will be also some sort of phi naught sine omega n t plus minus phi, whatever that is. Okay, so what we have to find out, the maximum, what is the phi naught, or the maximum displacement that it goes either side. Yeah, so we have to find out that. So first you have to find out the equation itself. An equation, for equation we have to know the J basically, right? So for J, the inner radius is given, the outer radius is given, so it is called R1 and R2, those are given. In terms of rho, you can find out the J is J equal to half m and then R square, right? So half, if rho if you are fixing for example, and then in that case what do you get? Rho times area is pi r square, okay, and then there will be depth. Let us say the thickness is t, so not t, let's call h is the thickness, yeah. So pi r square h is the volume, so this becomes the mass multiplied by r square, right? So simply it becomes half, and then you have rho pi h and then r4. This is a J, yeah. Okay, so now if the inner and outer diameter is given, so in that case you get J equal to half rho pi h, and you have r 2s4 minus r14, right, equal to half rho pi h, and then r2 4 minus square minus r1 square, yeah, plus multiplied by r 2 4 minus r14, sorry, square plus here, right, plus or minus we are saying half, and then you see what do we have? So we have pi rho pi r2 square minus r1 square times h. So this is nothing but the mass of this. So this is the mass actually, yeah. Rho pi r2 square minus r1 square multiplied by h multiplied by r2 square plus r1 square, or equal to half m, and then you have so what it means is this is mass dash, I'm saying. In general I'm talking about the mass here, but actually when we have not solid one, then it will be like this one in terms of outer end and the inner radii. So half m and then r1 square plus r2 square, and will be like this one, yeah? Okay. So which is simply m times average of r1 square plus r2 square basically, right? So average of that, that's what we mean. So anyway, what you get from here is the mass moment of inertia. Once you have that, the equation we can find out, and equation is as I said in one of the tutorial, that this will have the same kind of setup as you have in the base motion, right? Goes and up and down, yeah. And hence the equation in this case will be like this. Since there is no damper here, so no damper, so you have just the equation like this, k and this. Okay. So for this one, if this base goes up and down, if this is mass here and this is like this one, this and the k like this goes up and down. Equation will be simply, you can actually derive it, mx, if this is x, this is y, and you can find out mx, equation will be mx double dot plus kx equal to ky. This will be the answer, yeah, simply. Okay, so similarly in this case, the equation will be j, and then for this one you have theta, so you have theta double dot plus, for this one is bkk, and then theta will be equal to whatever the value of this k is multiplied by this. So sorry, we are writing in terms of phi, so this and this are equivalent, yeah. So not theta, we have to write in terms of phi there. So equation will be like this. So j, this mass or this wheel is equivalent, and hence the displacement of mass is x, displacement of this big wheel is phi, so we have to write like this one. So j is equivalent to m, phi equivalent to x, so phi double s, then k phi is equal to k times theta, where theta is given equal to theta naught, right? So your equation is k theta naught sine omega t, right? Okay, where j equal to m r over 2 r1 square plus r2 square, yeah, where m is the mass is given and this radii, the inner and outer. So j is known from here, k is given already. Okay, and what do you have to find? You have to find out the absolute displacement, the maximum value of this phi naught. We have to, equation is phi naught equal to what? And this is for this one displacement is what? So if you have mx double dot plus kx equal to say k y naught sine omega t. So okay, so in that case the solution, let's call it this is f naught sine omega t, yeah, and the solution will be simply x equal to f naught over k f naught divided by, we will get m okay, k minus m omega square. So that will be the x basically, yeah, that will be the x x naught, yeah. So this will be the x naught. Why? Because z term is not there, and hence because of that x naught will be simply f naught over k divided by, we have 1 minus omega square over omega n square. Why? Because zeta term is not there, otherwise you get root under square of that plus 2 zeta omega over omega n square of that, zeta equal to 0, hence, and this is a square root of this square, so you get this square. So x naught will be like that. So the equivalent of x naught we have phi here, so hence phi naught will be equal to f naught. F naught is nothing but k theta naught divided by 1 minus omega square over omega n square is the answer. So where k is given, theta naught is given, omega is given, omega n you have to find out from here, where omega n equal to root k over, in this case, j, where j is given like, where j is this, yeah. So Omega n is also known. Omega is given here. Theta naught is also given here. K is also given in the problem. Omega n is the root k over j, where j is equal to m over 2 r1 square plus r2 square, where m is given, r1 is given, r2 is given. So automatically you find out this one. Yeah.